Suicide Squad's gonna hit theaters and HBO Max simultaneously this weekend, and the reviews are out. Most of them are great and stuff, but I've been getting a lot of people telling me about famous YouTuber Grace Randolph's uh, review of it, and people put a lot of weight in what she says because she has a huge following and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, whatever. And how bad could it be? So I started watching this thing, and I heard a few things that were out of control. I don't know if the entire thing is crazy, in my opinion, but we're gonna go over it, and I want to give my honest opinion because this is what everyone's talking about. But it started pretty crazy. I usually don't do videos about other YouTubers like this. This is a commentary over another video. It's gonna be me commenting over her review. Her review apparently is non-spoiler, but expect spoilers. I don't know. I've been spoiled by her before. I've been spoiled by her non-spoiler reviews before. So anything is possible and stuff like that. This is recorded live, so make sure to chime in before or after. And so I'm pulling up her video right now. And so I know it's a little late, but the beginning of this video, I hope it doesn't go the way I think it is. DC, there's always a problem with DC. Always. There's always people like when the Joker movie, I thought it was getting unfairly criticized. And right here, I mean, let me get this video up real quick of hers, right? Although I don't think it's getting review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, but just stuff like this, man. Does this have anything to do with the movie? Let's see. The Joker movie was supposed to be all terrible and violent. It's like DC can't get a break. Is this going to start off with a commercial? I hope not. Let's see where we go.
Nobody on the face of the earth tried harder to like this movie than me. In fact, just the other day when I was talking about its initial Rotten Tomatoes score,
her full disclaimer, already off to a bad start.
I said I didn't see any way I would ever give this a Rotten Tomato because I felt the actors were just doing too good a job from the trailers, and I liked certain elements of it. So imagine my surprise as the movie unfolded before me, and I realized much, I was just so disappointed about it, but that there was no way that I could not give this a Rotten Tomato. I just have too many problems with it, taste-wise.
The taste of the movie's off for her. Okay. All right, it's kind of already to bad start because, like, is the film well acted? Is the script cool? Is it well constructed? I'm going to shut up. Let's see what's going on here.
I'm going to give this a very fair review. But I don't want to fight with anybody. So here's the compromise I'll make with you guys.
I'm not fighting with you.
I've decided not to give this film a tomato at all because my Rotten Tomato would not change the score that much, and it's just not worth the headache of being one of the only handful of negative reviews. And I don't want to give thought to the narrative that some people have come up with, which is ridiculous, that I have like a personal vendetta against this movie.
Okay, to be fair, I think like I said, DC has the bad end of the stick all the time. This is a good movie. It's getting praised. It's a victory, and there has to be this kind of video. But to be fair, Grace, you have had Zack Snyder on your channel several times. So this fits into, and I don't even think Zack Snyder and James Gunn do not get along. I think they're really good friends, but this fits into the I want the Snyderverse only. And look, why is she reviewing? Okay, people are asking right now because it's being recorded live. Maybe why am I reviewing her review? It's because she has a big voice in this industry. Why? I don't know. Guys, I'm gonna get to your comments. Please make sure to please comment there, and I'll get to your comment after the video is done, if it's ever done.
I mean, I honestly don't care. So enjoy your high score. I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but I do feel that I have a responsibility to point out that this parade, I believe, appeals to a smaller group than Warner Brothers and the initial Rotten Tomatoes score would lead everyone to believe. I thought I was going to love this movie based on that high RT score. I thought it was going to be amazing. I was telling
why Rotten Tomatoes, even the certified critics have their personal things against movies. Why, based on a high score, are you going to think you're going to like it? Don't you make the decisions on your own?
People to go see it. I'm going to watch it again with you in the watch along. Maybe now that I know.
Okay, listen. I heard she poops on this movie, but she's going to make money on the watch along, okay? All right, just so you guys know
what's coming, that'll make it a little bit more digestible. And there are really good moments in it that I'm excited to see again. But I am curious to see just exactly how many people love this movie. One of you in the UK, where this movie opened last Friday, DM'd me the other day. And, you know, nobody wants to talk about this publicly because so many people want this movie to succeed. Which is cool. Again, that's awesome. Have your day in the sun. Enjoy it. But it means that I think a lot of people who maybe don't care for the movie are probably just going to keep it to themselves. So this person told me that at the movie theater where they work, a lot of people have been walking out. And
Stefania, the altar nerd from England. She loved the movie. So one person called her and told her, or whatever, told her that people have been walking out, dude.
Ugh. And I was like, what? I got that DM before I saw the movie. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, the trailers, they look pretty good, right? I haven't loved them, but I thought they had nice moments. I was intrigued by the high RT score like the rest of you. And I was kind of coming around on the movie. I was really liking the posters. I was like, you know what? This might be a fun ride after all.
Well,
but then while watching the actual movie, I was like, yeah, I could see how people could walk out on this. I could definitely see it. I still think that the film will do incredibly well on HBO Max. It's very hard for me to walk out on a movie. I believe I've maybe walked out on 1 or 2 movies, but other people will walk out on movies. So I think you have to understand the type of person that's being described here. It's not going to be a hardcore fan. A hardcore fan's going to want to see this through to the end no matter what. They want to know exactly what, you just see how it ends, see the whole thing. But there are other people who are more willing to do that, more casual fans. And so I think that might be that demographic. But anyway, as I said, I still think this film will do very well on HBO Max. I think, in fact, it's designed to do incredibly well on HBO Max. Partially, well, I think actually especially, because you can screenshot stills and scenes from the movie and share them on social media. For instance, I am fairly confident that John Cena's bulge and tighty whities.
Okay. Before I get to that part, did she just say that, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, did she just say that it's going to do well on HBO Max as people would screen cap it? And then she went on to say that they're going to put a screen cap of John Cena's nuts? What the hell? Did I just lose a spot? No.
That I could not give this a rotten to come up with, which is ridiculous. I have a responsibility, digestible. And there are really good moments in it. One of you in the UK, where this is probably just going to keep posters, I think that the film will do incredibly well on HBO Max. It's very hard for me to walk out on a movie. I believe I've maybe walked people who are more willing to do that, more casual fans. And so I think that might be that demographic. But anyway, as I said, I still think this film will do very well. Nothing to the imagination. Some of you, I tweeted about this, and some of you said, oh, look at John Cena in these tight pants. And I was like, you ain't seen nothing yet, especially because the camera gets right in there. And I saw it in IMAX. It was a little bit like how with Watchmen, the movie, everyone just focused. It became the blue junk movie. But because I think it was handled better in the television show, that was not the focal point of, even though they still had the...
Dude, John Cena's sack was sarcastically put there, and I think they even put socks in there. It was meant as a joke.
Full frontal nudity there, it was, I think, done much better, and therefore it was received much better. We'll see. I'm
She thinks it's not going to be received well. Dude, people laughed in the theater.
sure that people will snapshot that and share it all over social media. The movie is full of record-scratching moments. That's how I would describe it, including full frontal nudity.
One of the great challenges.
Okay, I'm going to dim this as it goes. Damn it. Full frontal nudity. John Cena is nuts. Offended her. Okay, let's see.
Male and female. Well, no, just topless women, because of course it does. At one point in the movie, they have to go to a female, a gentleman's club, let's say. Very crude discussions. Like, here's an example. At one point, a character says they would actually he would love a rat up his butt. So that's just a sampling of the
That's all she remembers?
dialogue. Over the top gore. I actually had to look away several times because at a point you started to realize when it was coming, and I was like, I don't want to see that. So I would look away a couple of times. Tons of innocent people killed. I'm surprised that more people aren't making a comment about that, especially because almost all of them, I'd say 99%, are impoverished people of color.
They're Latin people.
Almost all of them, I'd say 99%, are impoverished people of color who have no agency in their lives within the film. And I think they correlate with people in real life who have no agency, and that's a problem.
Oh, Grace Randolph is offended for me. Thank you very much. Dumbass.
Also, they certainly have no agency as characters in the film. They're all secondary or extras. They don't even have the benefit of having lines, and for the most part. And there's no repercussions for their murders. They're like,
because it's a stupid, sarcastic movie, man. Do you watch Quentin Tarantino? What the?
Oh, it's crazy. These are bad. And you're like, you just murdered all those people. Human torture.
But she had...
So, wow, some of that stuff I will not unsee. Animal cruelty. That was the one that surprised me. I did not need to know what birds screaming sounded like, but I do.
What the? Did she oh my God.
Do now. Political commentary, which I thought was sloppily handled, and some lead characters doing
The only politics in the movie was like, okay, so the politics were very generic, all right? It was like a throwaway Latin American country that has this experiment. And at the end, it's the big bad United States, spoiler alert, handling it. So listen.
Shockingly reprehensible things. So I think people are going to talk about this movie, which of course will benefit it on social media. And quite frankly, if you find some of these things offensive, as I did, I don't think you're going to want to talk. You're not going to want to join the conversation. You're not going to argue about it. There's nothing to argue about. You're like, you know what? Just not for me. So I do feel that the majority of the conversation will be positive. I'm just curious to see what the breakdown is. I'm very curious to see what the audience scores are theatrically, like the cinema score. I suspect the RT audience score will be I'm not sure, maybe in the 80s. And then I'm very curious to see what the box office looks like, not only opening weekend, but what those second and third weekend drops look like. This really boils down to a matter of taste. In a moment, I'm going to talk about how well the film is made. It's very well made.
That's fair.
And what your threshold is for questionable behavior. And how serious you take the topics at hand. For instance, some people might feel that the movie deserves credit just for bringing these things up. And
okay, the movie's not supposed to be taken serious. It's pretty much spoofy, like as spoofy as the most spoofy Tarantino sarcastic film. That's the one I compare it mostly to, like Kill Bill. It's sarcastic blood. The blood is like Kill Bill's. It's like John Rambo, the movie. It's something you laugh at. It's not really like supposed to be taken serious. It's not telling you to do this, all right?
It just, it hints at the wider discussions that these serious topics imply. But others like myself might feel that it's, irresponsible to play these things for laughs. So I don't think there's
nothing to do with the construction of the movie.
Anything funny about a lot of the stuff here. And then also to touch on them so lightly that one could argue that it borders on irresponsible. Like, if you're going to go there, you need to go there, in my opinion. Also,
again, DC movies seem to be the only ones responsible for social, like our society, the way it works. DC films seem to be the only ones that could like destroy our society. Remember, Joker was supposed to cause all this violence in theaters. Now this one is responsible. When the movies, look, guys, the movie is pretty much a comedy. It's an over-the-top comedy. I would have preferred it to have been a little bit more serious, like a little bit maybe. That's my only criticism. I like the Nolan style DC the most. That's just me. Crowd's gonna love it. Never once do they tell you these Suicide Squad are the bad guys, and the movie is over the top, fun, stupid. Okay.
Of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, Ed Gein, that's who Norman Bates is based on,
Yeah.
and John, much worse in real life, and John Wayne Gacy, you just couldn't root for them, no matter how well the movie was made. And I thought way too often the movie slipped into that territory, where that's really kind of what I felt I was watching. Now, as I said, the film is incredibly well made. It's extremely well made. From a craft perspective, it's flawless. From the directing to the cinematography to the VFX.
That's
so
fair.
good.
That's fair.
James Gunn has a ton of clever, thrilling visuals here, and some of them are just downright gorgeous. Oh, the rain,
That's
that was
fair.
gorgeous.
That's fair.
Some of the jokes, as we know from the trailers, are not great, but you've actually seen pretty much all the jokes in the film. The soundtrack is also very well used. We start with the Johnny
Did you like that little jab? You've pretty much seen every single joke in the film.
Cash song. I had such high hopes at that point. I
Not
was
true.
like, oh man, this is going to be good. The soundtrack is very well used, much like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is very Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like through James Gunn's, I think, true sensibilities without Marvel holding him back. And some of you will think that that's fantastic. So again, as I said, it's an issue of taste. The script, well, you can see I have some issues with it, but it does feature some very clever twists. It plays with time in an interesting way, and it handles a very large cast very nicely. And I think it gives almost every character their due. The first act is...
I'm Aj.
Okay, as that commercial plays, I do respect the fact that she's saying it's a matter of taste. But if you look at her, she's very much like giving little jabs at the film. Like, oh, when it started off with Johnny Cash, I loved it. And then it went downhill. Like little stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. So far, there's some crazy stuff. Like someone from the UK called her and said people are walking out. It's like, could I call her right now and say that people in LA were sitting through the entire film? Will she report on that? No, because it's positive. Seems a little biased right there. I do like the fact that she's talking about the cinematography and how beautifully it's shot. The thing about let's be fair, the entire thing about like it's Suicide Squad, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Is kind of trying to say this is a Marvel DC film. It doesn't feel like Marvel at all. It does not feel like Guardians of the Galaxy. It has music, but the music in Guardians of the Galaxy was just different. This is my opinion, right?
and how it sets everything up. I was like, oh, this could be pretty cool. At that point, I still felt maybe pretty good about it. And the third act, while the most vile, was also, I think, the most interesting, dynamic-wise. And it's some of my favorite moments in the third act. Also, some of the characters finally get their hero on in the third act, and that made them more likable. The acting is excellent across the board. Everybody delivers exactly what is asked of them in a very strong manner. Very, very good. And I like some of the characters quite a bit. Some of them I did not like, but let's start with the ones who I did.
All right.
Idris Elba's Bloodsport. The man can do anything. He just oozes cool. He looked so great in his uniform. He was fantastic. Every single moment he was on screen, I'm like, why is he not a movie star? He really should be. David Dastmalchian's Polka Dot Man. Oh, wow. Very interesting take on his powers and visually stunning. They were very cool. I would never imagine you could do so much with Polka Dot Man, but James Gunn did. Although, I thought
to be fair, also, these are kind of like the main characters. So if they're amazing, your movie should be like halfway there.
Dynamic with his mother, while intentionally disturbing, it came across as a bit misogynistic. James Gunn did. Although I thought his dynamic with his mother, while intentionally disturbing, it came across as a bit misogynistic. A lot in the way that it was, Quentin Tarantino made it seem okay that Brad Pitt murdered his wife.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I don't know. Look, I've seen the movie twice and sometimes I miss shit, okay? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I did the mistake, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. The mom screwed this kid up. She was trying to make him into a metahuman and making him into a freaking polka dot freak. And that's one of the reasons. It has nothing to do with misogyny. It was. I'm going to rewind it to make sure I heard that. Because maybe my headphones are screwed, man.
Disturbing. It came across as a bit misogynistic. A lot in the way that it was, Quentin Tarantino made it seem okay that Brad Pitt murdered his wife.
It's it's stupid movie. Listen, if you take that serious, this is not a movie. This is all fake, man. It's just entertaining. It's over the top. It's a joke. This movie had nothing to do with anything like that.
I just want to explain it, because some people just don't get it.
Yeah, I
think that there's something that some guys do that if a woman disagrees with them, I mean, Polka Dot Man's mother did some horrible things in the movie, without a doubt. But I think there's a flavor to it that if a guy doesn't like something that a woman does or says, it's okay to vilify her.
You think making him a freak is okay to vilify that person, man or woman? If it was the dad making him into a freak for the rest of his life. I don't know about this Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thing. I didn't like that movie. I got to be honest with you. I did not like that movie, so I don't know. I didn't get too much into the storyline. But it's a broad statement, Grace, man.
And, there's the issues of perspective and opinion. And there's I think the way the mom was portrayed is just trying to be the most disgusting thing that they could come. It was, I don't know. It was just a feeling I had from it.
That's the problem when you put your feelings in it and you don't review the movie. You get this. You have everything. You have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Meanwhile, there's real talent out there on YouTube that get no views.
I still love the character. Joel Kinnaman was...
You still love the character that vilifies the mom and is misogynist, according to your review? Wow.
Much better here is Rick Flag. I actually liked him here. I thought he came across very much as a leader. And he has probably, I would say, one of, if not the best scenes of his career in the third act. I mean, I have to like his performance for that alone. And what a breakthrough performance for Daniela Melchior. She awesome. And her right-hand rat, Sebastian, actually made me feel not so bad about rats, which is incredible. And she has one flashback scene with Taika Waititi.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Which was incredibly brief, but was by far and away one of, if not the most powerful moments in the film.
She made me cry.
It was, and what it said, I mean, that was great. That was just stunning. So good. Pete Davidson, he's hardly in the movie at all, but when he is, he does a fantastic job, and he is just an excellent fit with the Suicide Squad brand. I thought he should have been able to. They should have given him more to do. He was very good.
Okay, so good positives, a little weird, but the cast is massive. So yeah, I understand why all these characters weren't really like front and center and stuff. So let's keep going.
Now, here's who I did not care for.
Okay.
John Cena's Peacemaker. Whoa, what a disaster. Not only is
a dig to HBO Max. I get it. He was good. He was good. John Cena was awesome. Better than usual. All his movies, he was awesome here. Especially in the third act.
character, but I think it's a career choice for John Cena. This character was absolutely not only disgusting, but disturbing and irredeemable. Like, I can't believe he's getting his own show. He is who I would think would be the last character to get a spin-off show off of this movie.
Okay, so little bit of a spoiler. John Cena's character is pretty much like Idris Elba's character, but she likes Idris Elba's character. Okay.
By the time the movie was over, I absolutely hated him. I just hated him. And
he's a bad guy, dude.
I'm really curious to see how John Cena's fans react to him playing this character. If I was his agent, I'd be like, I would not touch this. I would not do this. This is a mistake for you.
Mr. Cena, HBO Max would like to give you like millions of dollars to have your own DC show and stuff like that. John Cena responds, yeah, man, I don't like the idea. I don't like millions of dollars. This is a really bad thing. Is that what she's suggesting? Is John Cena leading any movie right now? Like, does he have his own franchise? I don't think so. I could be wrong. It's late and I'm kind of like in a bad mood. This is a perfect freaking thing. He's been everywhere with the damn helmet on his head, having a good time, bringing attention to this film. Thank you, John Cena.
It's just appalling. So appalling. All right. All right. It has to be seen to be believed, because you won't believe that John Cena is willing to do the horrible things that they have Peacemaker do.
Because he's a bad guy. That's the ironic thing. There's a line in the movie that addresses it. What he does. The name is a contradiction, dude. Even in the trailer.
King Shark, I much prefer the animated versions, who are fantastic, by the way. I love that show. Here, they're both portrayed as really stupid, which I really do not care for. And I was disappointed, so disappointed to see that Harley Quinn once again is defined by how the opposite sex sees her, with some weird Prince and the Showgirl routine that they decided to do.
I gotta rewind that. I don't even get this. I don't even get this, man. I don't even get it.
So disappointed to see that Harley Quinn once again is defined by how the opposite sex sees her.
That's kind of like what the character's like, isn't it? I don't know. Is the character kind of like that? Screwed up by Joker? There's some women that this happens to. There's a lot of women that actually admit that this is what happens to. They buy the crap out of Harley Quinn merchandise and they love Harley Quinn because they're kind of making fun of their friends that are like that, or they kind of see themselves a little bit like that. Men have stupid men too. There's stupid men all over the place. There's dumb meatheads all over the place. And there's intelligent men and intelligent women, and there's women that never look at men, and there's men that never look at women. There's different people. Harley Quinn is that character right there. She pays attention to people who give her a little bit of good feedback because Joker was an asshole to her. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong. Okay, listen, with all due respect, Miss Randolph, you always point out why are you so hard on the female actress? Leave her alone.
See that Harley Quinn, once again, is defined by how the opposite sex sees her.
Yeah,
This
once
movie.
again. Oh my God, I rewind this accidentally. Sorry, guys. Once again, she's portrayed like that, how the opposite sex sees her, because that's how the character is
Portrayed.
Once again, every Superman movie I watch, once again, Superman flies. Every Batman movie I watch, once again, Batman's in Gotham, because that's the character. I'll get to your super chats in a little bit, guys. I really, really appreciate this. Actually, let me do a super chat right now. I need a break. I'm going to continue. Hold on real quick. All right, let's see what we got right here. Gillette Production, what's up, man? You better than this, man. This is beyond cringe, my guy. Listen, man. If you're upset because I'm reviewing somebody else's review, it's because I love DC and I want more of these movies to continue. And someone that has people with big voices, like Grace, need to be kind of like checked a little bit sometimes. And I feel like DC always has the bad end of the stick. It's and stuff. It happened with Joker. They review bombed the film without even watching it on Rotten Tomatoes. And here, although she has some good points, as far as like cinematography is awesome, she's not going completely negative. When you're starting off a review that some random person called me from England and said that everyone was leaving the theater while watching the Suicide Squad, just like it could have been a crank call, but she's citing that in the beginning of her review, and she has hundreds of thousands of followers, man. You gotta, and I'm doing this. People may disagree, but I'm doing this to fight for good movies, man. It's just, you know what I mean? I gotta point this one out. I appreciate the super chat. Let's see what else we got here real quick. Did I miss another one? I appreciate you guys coming in here. It's late. I want to see DC films, succeed. But when you're coming out, criticize them if they suck, man. But when you're coming out with like overreach, let's with great power comes great responsibility, man. I gotta say. All right, let's see. Gerard, she prefers the show more than the progressive and dark take. Okay. Is that what you're getting out of it? Jaro 96. Seeing some new people here. Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate all you guys coming in. Yeah, this is not my style. I don't go and talk about a review, another review and stuff like that. But this is a huge YouTuber. It's a huge person. And I think with great power comes great responsibility. And when you're trying to also get offended because the brown people were getting killed and no one brown is offended at that, we just want to be in movies as well too. It's like right now she's defining like, or criticizing Harley Quinn's character. Why pick on Harley Quinn? That's her character. That's the way the character is. That's like getting upset because King Shark always swims. That's the character. All right, let's see. Again, love you, man. But don't sink to this level. All right, fair enough, bro. I know you're a fan. I know you're a fan. You're supportive of me. Not a fan. We're equals, man. I don't want to use that word fan and stuff, but you're part of this community. I respect you. But I'm just trying to defend. I'm trying to defend what I love with my small community to let you guys know that films should be, that in my opinion, movies should be reviewed on how good they are. And I think the appropriate way would be to say, hey, this is a great film. Act 1, 2, and 3, awesome. Third one was amazing. I do think this film, the third one was amazing. I'm sweating my ass off. It's hot in here. Hold on. But you know what? I don't like the message. That's fine. But she wanted to give it a rotten review. And people were walking out because some random person said they were from England. All right, here we go. But everyone's input here is super welcome, okay?
As really stupid, which I really do not care for. And I was disappointed, so disappointed to see that Harley Quinn once again is defined by how the opposite sex sees her.
Okay, so I'm going to say this and I'm gonna be met with, of course, because you're a guy, and that's frustrating, man. This was the best Harley Quinn. I felt like something for her. I felt like she was in an abusive relationship, and she didn't know what being appreciated is. So when the crew, spoiler alert, went to rescue her, she couldn't even believe that someone cared about her. And it kind of brought attention to me as like that there are people in relationships that get treated so bad and they're used to it. They think it's the norm. That when someone comes and does something this nice to them, they don't know how to feel or act. They don't know how being appreciated feels because they've been in a abusive relationship. And that's what the Joker and her have. And that was awesome to me. To me, it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. Let me get another super chat, guys. Let me see. Jarro. I don't know why I'm getting feedback here. Yeah, the show is darker and deals with her falling for Poison Ivy and becoming the boss by taking out Joker and all the villains that's what she likes. All right, that's cool. I heard the show's good. I've seen parts of it. Okay, I'll be fair about King Shark. He is dumb in this. It's played for fun, and I personally love the King Shark in The Flash. The Flash actually has a King Shark I like more. He's bad guy, big, very menacing. Here's something here. Let me see. Ziri Ika. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I've done something nice for a girl once, and she cried saying she didn't deserve it. Later learned her prior relationship was abusive. That was Harley with Joker. That's kind of how I feel. And thanks for the comment. Nicole, thank you for coming in here. I know it's late. We're your neck of the woods. Nicole, am I off bases about analyzing Harley? Tomorrow you get to watch the movie. You guys maybe come in here and have better commentary. She seems far off base from what others have said. Yes, and that's why I'm reviewing this. Another reason is people are when big influencers review stuff or talk about stuff or make up stories, they come to Nerd Report and they ask me about it. So that's another thing. Nicole, great seeing you here. Everyone, thank you. Just a random live stream. Had some Baja Blast, so I'm a little hyper, but then I'm a little pissed, man, because this movie's dope, and I think this is weird, man.
With some weird Prince and the Showgirl routine that they decided to do. Harley Quinn is not supposed to be a twisted version of Marilyn Monroe, and this is the second time that it's been done. It's not the right path to go down, and it just shows a basic misunderstanding of the character. Also, Harley has taken so...
Is there misunderstanding of the character, or do people interpret it different? And from what I understand, isn't Margot Robbie kind of like... Doesn't she kind of like produce it, like how it goes? I don't know.
So much abuse for men at this point, she is ready to try something different and fall in love with Poison Ivy in the DCEU.
Fine.
And I will be very upset if that is the next step for the character. I mean, if anything good were to come of this movie, it's that she's ready. I think that Poison Ivy would be so wonderful for her to meet right now. They've teed her up. She's ready to go. And I'm upset that the DCEU won't do that. I'm so happy that the animated series has taken that.
Dude, what? What is this? What? Hold on. What is this?
I think that Poison Ivy would be so wonderful for her to meet right now. They've teed her up. She's ready to go.
Because she's been abused by men.
And
I've been misunderstanding this. So did she just say that a lot of dudes have abused Poison Ivy, and then now she should date? Have abused Harley Quinn, and now she should date Poison Ivy? Is that what she said? Am I confused? Please help me in the chat.
The DCEU won't do that. I'm so happy that the animated series.
Okay, and the DCEU won't do that.
Has taken that step. Harley Quinn has some nice moments here.
So
here's
the deal. There's not that many DCEU movies. She's upset because the DCEU hasn't done that. There's no DC movies. There's barely any. She's not the main character in the first Suicide Squad or this one. She is in Birds of Prey.
But she disappears for very long periods of the film, even though she has been sold as one of its leads.
There's like 17 people in this goddamn movie. How long do you want it to be? 3 hours? Well, sorry, not 3 hours, 17 hours? I'm not even making sense anymore. It's about 3 hours. She disappears, and she should have been. It's called the Suicide Squad. A squad has a lot of characters in there. You know who's not in it that much is King Shark. Okay.
Harley Quinn, to be fair, is an extremely difficult character to get right. They still haven't been able to do it in the comic, and so many writers have tried at this point. They just can't get it right. But the animated series has gotten it right. They have. I can't wait. The comic, I think, comes out this month. They have a spin-off comic as well. And I really wish they would bring in that writing team to handle her live action appearances going forward, because this is just getting ridiculous. We're 3 movies in. Viola.
One of those movies are about Harley Quinn, and the other 2 are not about her. Okay.
Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. Now that surprised me, because at the beginning of the film, she was absolutely fantastic. I was like, wow, what a power player.
If you clean your own ears, you need to know
about
this.
ears. I'm trying to clean my own ear right now after hearing this, actually. So let me look at this commercial. All right. Her problem with Brad Pitt's character gets praise, and it's not held accountable for killing his wife. And okay, I don't know.
Show you exactly how this amazing.
But in the third act, talk about misogynistic.
I
don't know why they chose to do this. She was so humiliated, and she took it, that I was shocked.
That's misogynistic, bro.
Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. Now that surprised me, because at the beginning of the film, she was absolutely fantastic. I was like, wow, what a power player. But in the third act, talk about misogynistic. I don't know why they chose to do this. She was so humiliated, and she took it, that I was shocked. Amanda Waller would never take what happens to her. I mean, I guess maybe you could argue that she'll get her revenge after.
Maybe I don't understand. Maybe I just don't understand because I'm a guy. But that would happen to Amanda Waller has happened to dudes in movies. No one blinks an eye. She was going to do something very awful in the film. Spoiler alert. And she stopped it from happening. I mean, someone stopped it from happening. Dumb.
But it was just seemed so out of character to me. I mean, she's a villain for sure. She's still a villain, as she should be.
Yeah.
But I just was shocked. And I wonder if it would have been done to a male character. I just was really upset about that.
I don't know.
And Starro. So disgusting. So horrifying. Like, wow. Like, I'm familiar with Starro from the comics, but this is like eons beyond that. I mean, Starro is problematic from all points. It brings a lot of the political commentary. I think there's a lot of it is just not, I think, played out the way it should be. They have turned up the grotesqueness of the character up to an 11. Not only the way it looks, but, in the comics, if you get a star on your face, they can pry it off and you'll be okay. Let's just say that's not the case here. Some of the things I will not be able to unsee.
Just so you guys know, she's shocked at this, but James Gunn does a lot of horror movies. So James Gunn does a lot of horror movies, and you could tell in this film he's a horror dude. So there's some stuff that's kind of like horrific, right? So what could I say, man? Some of these things you could draw it on a comic and it'll look clean, colorful, and pretty. But when you think about it and put it in real life, this Starro thing looks like Aliens, right? The movie. It's like on your freaking eyeball, dude, stuck. So I don't know how much, I don't know what.
And I think they might have ruined Starro. Right, so as I told you, as I reported to you before, at one point, I believe before James Gunn even came along, back when, I forget the name of the director. He did the Ben Affleck movie, which I liked quite a bit. He was going to do this. And at one point, Warner Brothers was considering having Supergirl be the weapon that was locked up here that the Suicide Squad was supposed to liberate or whatever. And I think that would have been a much better idea. I think Starro, just opened up a whole...
Yeah, but then the complaint would have been like, they're locking up Supergirl. So, like, how could they be so mean or misogynistic? So weird, man. You can't win if you're DC. You got to put every character in bad positions, man. Whatever they are, that's part of being, in my opinion, it's part of being equal, man. That's why, look, the villains are brown people. I'm not pissed at it. Hey, look. Yes, the villains are Latin Americans, right? It is what it is. There's Latin American villains, okay? Newsflash. That's cool. In the next movie, show the lawyer Latin American. You know what I mean? Because we have lawyers too. We have cops, lawyers, cool politicians, bad politicians, extremely handsome men like me, and not so handsome men and women. You know what I mean? We have everything, but we also have bad guys. We also have people who are obsessed, who like to be, there's all types of people. And that's what, in Suicide Squad, you're going to find different characters, right? Harley Quinn was an abusive relationship, in my opinion. Well, it's not even an opinion, it is. And she is susceptible to that in a way, and she uses that for her power. I don't know.
Whole can of starfish that I don't think this movie needed. So I saw this film in IMAX, and if you choose to go to see it in theaters, I think that is 100% the way to go. Otherwise, if you want to see it, I'd watch it on HBO Max. I mean, unless you're like a hardcore fan, then yeah, go. I mean, you just try it. I mean, I certainly wouldn't dissuade anyone. I mean, I've told you what the movie's like, and you decide for yourself whether or not it's something you want to try. Or you might even think it sounds fantastic. Then by all means, have a great time. Again, I don't care either way, but that's just how I feel about the film. It also has 2 end credit scenes, very brief, and they're both totally non-consequential. For the film, I mean, one kind of sets up the Peacemaker thing, but not in a way that's at all, there's nothing to discuss. So, and it doesn't tie into the DCEU in a larger way at all. So if people see this movie multiple times, and I know some of you already are, it's just because you like the film, which is awesome. I'm so glad that you do. All right, so that's my non-spoiler review of The Suicide Squad. Share your thoughts down below. Please try to be as polite as I have been. Subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.
All right, there you go. Listen, once again, yeah, I mean, I've been getting a lot of people telling me to look at this, suggesting me to watch this. It's annoying. It's annoying because there's plenty of other YouTubers that have an opinion that don't get the play. But when there's like outlandish things here that were included in this video, this is the type of YouTuber that gets a play. So when you're starting your review that was, I didn't like the film, and somebody from like freaking another country told me that there were people leaving the theater, that's ridiculous, dude. Come on. And there comes a time where we have to fight for like the stuff we love, right? And that's what I think I'm doing here. There you go, guys. What do you guys think? Sorry I didn't get a few people wanted to come in here. Sorry I didn't get you guys in. It's late and stuff. Just wanted to get this video off my chest because it's started watching it. I was like, man, DC. People are always coming out with weird reasons not to like DC, man. Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, it's just another person's opinion, right? But to say that there's people to say that someone called me or told me it's people are leaving the theater in another country and then use that in a review, that's not an opinion. That's not an opinion. That's bullshit.